Hello everybody and welcome to Sports Source, your number one source for sports, and today, with the All-Star game right around the corner, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on who should make the All-Star teams. So I'll be going from East to West, and I will name the starters and the reserves. And just before the video starts, these are all my opinion, so don't get mad if your favorite player isn't on the list, or if a player isn't a starter or not, because it really doesn't matter if your favorite player is a starter. Because if you look back on a player's career, it's not going to say 12-time All-Star, one-time starter. So it really doesn't matter. It's basically just the best of the best. So don't get mad at that. But without further ado, let's begin the video. So I'm going to be using the same format as last year. You got 2 guards starting and then 3 forwards. And then on the reserves, you got 4 guards and then 3 forwards. I'm also going to do some honorable mentions after. But number 1 in the West, the first guard starter in the West, is Stephen Curry. He's second in the league in points as I'm recording this. He was an early MVP candidate for a bit. He's the best player on one of the most dominant teams of all time. He's shooting great. There's no reason he shouldn't be on here as he is the best point guard in the league. Second, we got James Harden. He's averaging 34 points, 9 assists. He's been killing it. He's been an MVP, and he's been a top MVP candidate for a couple years now. And there's no reason that he shouldn't be a starter. He's put up monster numbers, and he's even some people's MVP leader. Next up is LeBron James, best player in the world currently. So I don't know why you wouldn't put him up there. He's injured right now as I'm recording this with a groin injury, but hopefully he will bounce back and lead that Lakers team to the promised land. Next up as a starter is Kevin Durant, second best player in the league, if you ask me. He's averaging 29 points. He's shooting really good from the field, and to be honest, when Curry went out with an injury, if Durant wasn't there, that team would have totally fallen apart. You know, he kind of kept them together. I mean, as I'm recording this, they're still second. They're tied for first, actually, in the Western Conference. But if Durant wasn't there, then they might not be in that same position. And lastly, Anthony Davis is the big man. He's averaging 29 and 13. He's been an absolute stud this year. It sucks that his team isn't doing that good, but he's the best big man in the league today, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be a starter. Moving on to the reserves, we got Damian Lillard. He's playing up 26 points this season, 6 assists. He's shooting pretty good, and his team is doing good in the regular season like they always do, but when it comes playoff time, things don't seem to work out for them. But, I mean, he's still putting up really good numbers. He's top 10 scoring, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be on the All-Star team. His days of being quote-unquote snubbed are behind him. Next up is Russell Westbrook. Now, he's getting a lot of hate currently. He's averaging 21, 11, and 10, another triple-double. His shooting from the field is not that good. His turnover numbers are still there, but he's been really good at defense this year, and that's one of the key highlights, and he's still a top 3-point guard in the league, if you ask me. So he's on the All-Star reserve next. Next up is a little bit more of a controversial one. It's Devin Booker. He's averaging 25 and 7 right now, which are really good numbers, but the only reason people don't have him on the All-Star game is because of team success. The Suns are one of the worst teams right now, and Booker's supposed to be the leader of that team. He's had multiple tweets that, you know, he's going to lead his team to the playoffs, and he's done not making the playoffs. It looks like he's going to have to be a little bit more patient because his team just isn't succeeding right now. Next up is DeMar DeRozan as the last guard spot in the West. Now, DeMar DeRozan, you know, he was kind of sad. He was kind of mad after that trade from Toronto. He felt betrayed. But on the Spurs, he's been killing it. The Spurs have been the best team in the month of December, I'm pretty sure. And he's averaging 23 points, 23, 6, and 6. Those assist numbers have gone up. He's getting more rebounds. He's playing really good basketball for the Spurs right now. And the Spurs are 6th in the West, so there's no reason he shouldn't be on there. Moving on to the forwards, Paul George. He's been the main scoring option on that Thunder team. He's been, I'd say, their leader of that team. I've seen some games where Paul George has just been going off. He's averaging 27, 8, and 4 right now with good shooting from the field. He might even make the 3-point contest, averaging the most points of his career. He's been killing it. There's no reason he shouldn't make the All-Star game. Next up is Cat. Now, I didn't have him here originally, but the way he's been playing lately, he's been on fire. So from his last 5 games, he's got 28, 29, 28, 28, 34. With the rebounds, none below 12. And the assists, 3, 2, 7, 6, and 7. And his blocks numbers are really good with 4, 5, and 6 in his last 5 games. He's just been killing it ever since the Jimmy Butler departure. I seen Karl Towns play live in October with Jimmy Butler, and it just didn't go well for them. That was a big blowout game. But Cat, he's found his confidence, he's found his stride, and I think with his recent play, he will make the All-Star game. Now, the last spot is more of a controversial one. It's the last spot in the West, And I gotta give it to Nikola Jokic. He is for sure the best passing big man in the NBA, maybe that we've ever seen. I mean, it might be a little bit too early to say that, but he's been killing it with the Denver Nuggets. That's one of the reasons he is up here. It's because, yeah, the Denver Nuggets are doing really good. If the Denver Nuggets weren't this good, then he might not be up here, but he's averaging 19, 10, and 7 with really good shooting from the field, and his defense is better than previous years. He's still not an elite defender, and he will never be, in my opinion, but he's still putting in that work, and they're the first seed, so he's going to get the coach's vote, too. Now, moving on to the East, first guard spot, we got Kyrie Irving, and he is one of the most fun players in the league to watch. He's one of my favorite players in the league, and I have him here at this spot. Now, one of the reasons I have him at the spot is because he's the best point guard in the East, and, the Celtics have been picking it up, and Kyrie has been the leader of that team. He's averaging 23, 5, and 6. Well, you could say 23, 5, and 7 right now. Good shooting from the field. He didn't start off that hot, but he has for sure picked it up as of late. Now, the next starter in the East, this one, probably the most controversial, it's Kemba Walker. Now, there's a couple reasons why he's a starter for me. A, he's putting up career numbers. He's averaging 25, 4, and 6 with really good shooting from the field. B, the All-Star game is in Charlotte, so he's probably going to get a fan support from the hometown team, Charlotte, and they owe a lot to him because without him, like right now, they are currently sitting at 19 and 20. They would probably be the worst team in the league if you take Kemba off that team. He's been killing it. All-Star game is in Charlotte. There's no reason he shouldn't start. Now, at the forward spot, we got Kawhi Leonard. Now, he's averaging 27, 8, and 3 with really good shooting from the field. He's one of the best, if not the best, perimeter defender or just defender overall in the NBA. He's killing in the East. You could argue he's the best player in the East. Next up is Giannis Antetkounmpo. He's averaging 27, 13, and 6 with 58% shooting from the field, which is really, really good. He's been my MVP candidate for the whole year. Harden stepping up kind of not destroys it, but kind of leaves him out a little bit, but he's still one of the best young players in the league, if not the best young player in the league, and he deserves to be a starter, and I think he might even be the captain in the East. Next up is Joel Embiid. He's averaging 27, 14, and 4 with really good shooting from the field. He is the best big man in the East, and depending on if you consider Davis a center or not, Embiid is the best center if Davis is a power forward. It's just about what you think. But Embiid's been killing it. There's no reason why he shouldn't be a starter. Plus, the East is pretty weak. But East top fives are superstar, all-star type players, just that there's not much competition for them. Not saying that the East is weaker, but I mean it is. Let's face it. Next up is Kyle Lowry at the guard spot. He's averaging 10 assists, 14 points, 4 rebounds with really good defense. He's number 1 in charges drawn, which is really good. And, he's been killing it as of late. I mean, he's been injured for a while, but the Raptors, they don't need him. Well, they do need him because he's an important part of that piece, but they've proven that they could win without him. There's not much guards in the East, and he deserves another All-Star game. Next up is Bradley Beal. Now, when John Wall went down with that injury, this is going to show Bradley Beal what he's made of. He's going to come out as the alpha dog, and right now he's averaging 24, 5, and 5 with lots of minutes a game, but he's shooting good percentages, and I just think that he's an all-star type player. He made it last year for the first time, and he should make it again. So next up is Victor Oladipo. Now, the Pacers have been killing it. They're one of the biggest surprises. They're 26 and 13 right now, and they're one of the top teams in the league. Oladipo, even though his numbers have dropped, the coaches are going to see the team's success. He made the All-Star game last year. And again, like he keeps saying, there's not much competition in the East, so Victor Oladipo should be a sure thing. Next up is the most controversial one, and it's Zach Lavine. Now, there were a couple honorable mentions that I'll show you in a little bit, but Zach Lavine, he started out the season really hot. Now he's kind of slowed down, but he's still averaging 24, 4, and 4 with good shooting from the field. So, I think that he will make his first All-Star game at 23, but he has been on the stage before, as he has been in a couple dunk contests. Next up is Jimmy Butler. Now, when he got traded to the Sixers, he kind of took a step back offensively because he's not their first scoring option. I think it's Embiid, but he's still averaging 19, 5, and 4 on the season with pretty good shooting. One of the best two-way players in the whole entire league, and it's good to see him on the All-Star team. Next up is Blake Griffin. He's actually having a career year. He started out the season really hot. I think he scored 50 in a game, something like that. And he averages 25, 9, and 5 with really good shooting from the field. He's not the elite dunker he used to be, but he can still throw down. He can throw passes. He can score from the perimeter. It's Blake Griffin. I think that he will make the All-Star game for the Pistons. And last but not least for the reserves, Nikola Vucevic. Now, this one might be the most surprising, but is it really? He's been killing as of late. He's averaging 20, 12, and 4 with 53% from the field. Again, there's not really that much competition contesting him for that spot, but there is some. But I still think that the way he's been playing for the Orlando Magic, he should be an all-star. Now, I'm going to name my honorable mentions. The top honorable mention, which is if there was an injury or the guy that was barely missed out for the East, was Ben Simmons. I just didn't feel like including him because he hasn't taken that big step forward offensively. He's kind of been the same player from last year. So I just didn't think he deserved that spot over Lavine. And, they already have Embiid and Butler. I didn't think that team has 3 all-stars yet, but Simmons has the potential. And the wildcard spot in the West is Tobias Harris. I had him in there before Cat started ripping it up, and I feel bad because I really like Tobias Harris. He's one of my favorite players, and he's shown how underrated he is and how good he can really be. He's putting up beastly numbers, but he just make the cut. He just didn't make the cut. And if there's an injury, he's for sure going to be the first guy up if things go to plan. Now, there's lots of competition in the West. You could argue Conley. This is probably going to be his last year of being elite. He's probably not going to make an all-star game, and he never has. Donovan Mitchell, he's still got a couple years. Gobert has proven to be a really good player. De'Aaron Fox, he's been putting up beastly numbers, but he's a bit too young, and he's not having an all-star type season. He's just having a really good season. And there's lots of others here, but we're just going to be talking about a couple of players now that are voted into the all-star game, but I don't think should make it. And don't get mad at this statement. There's Dwayne Wade, Luka, and Derrick Rose. Now, these players, if you look at the voting, the fan voting for the starters, they've been topping the charts, and I don't think it's fair. That's why Wade and all these guys, they're not on my list, because they shouldn't make the All-Star game. They're not All-Star talent players. I'm sorry. They just want to see them in there because it'll be fun. Now, I do admit it'd be cool to see Wade in the All-Star game. LeBron and Wade could play on the All-Star stage one last time. It'd be cool if Luka Doncic made it because he's a rookie. And obviously it'd be cool for Derrick Rose because he has lots of fans and he would get the fan support. But that's not what the All-Star game is. The All-Star game is for assembling the best players in the league and putting on a game. The point of it is they have the fan vote to get the fans more interactive, but it's not all of the percentages. The coaches and the management, they still vote for who they want in the All-Star game. So that's why I don't think these guys might not make it, but just stop voting for them. I'm tired of the Rose and Luka All-Star hype, and even Wade. I'm not hating on these players. I like all these players. It's just that they're not All-Star caliber players, and I don't see why they should make the All-Star game, hence why they're not on my list. Thank you for watching. If you agree with my opinions, comment down below. Or if you think I missed anybody or what your all-star roster looks like, let me know down in the comment section below. But I'll see you in the next episode. Take care and goodbye.